Hi, good evening, everyone. We have finished our caregiver for dementia from session 1 to session 10, and then we also have a two-part. Have a caregiver from New York. She's running a for-profit for caregiver service for dementia patient in New York. So we kind of bring her back here to share us about her experience. And both of the lady, Bobby and Annie, they both have dementia loved one to care for, like grandmother, mother, and their mother. And so somehow they share the same path about taking care of the elderly. And I think that is somehow giving everybody the opportunity to learn about how caregiver work. Today, we're gonna start a new section. This section gonna be talking about prevention. I think prevention for dementia seems like is a very heavy task for everyone right now because 55 million of the population has a dementia, and then we are facing 2025 to 2050 to up to 100 million around the world. So dementia become a tax for every either the government policy or healthcare for any individual country, and also with the local city government as well. So especially my specialty is about the government policy and my work with the government, even though my client mainly is the field government contractor, and then I am just more like assisting part of the piece for the marketing to the field buyer. So somehow that will kind of help us to understand how this prevention works. So I look into some of the research, and before I talk about how the research started, I will kind of give a little bit background why I've been patient about this topic. Especially is I normally kind of inspire something by watching one TV drama in Taiwan. It's called How Are You? Who Am I? In Chinese say 你好我是谁. So it kind of profound me with that TV drama bring in very similarity about the dementia population today. And then the story begins with one of the young men in southern Taiwan. He was trying to taking care of the dementia mother, and somehow he couldn't take that pressure and stress anymore. So he used to get suicide and along with his mother. So somehow that sad news and sad break out. So this doctor kind of inspired for that, and then start this dementia clinic in the hospital he is in. And then I think that is also a Buddha hospital. They've been building many hospitals in my country as well. And somehow that kind of gives him opportunity to increasing how the caregiver and diagnostic of the dementia early stage, and how treatment today, and how to building the community friendly and building out the dementia city. You know, every stand you have a place to. And it's today, 2022, I just see Taiwan have a final proposal result for this dementia research and report as well throughout the Taiwan health system. So it's kind of interesting to understand how dementia has been really into the world today, and especially the TV, the doctor later has also got his mother had dementia as well. And then she turned into like a child, but she's kind of like a happy child, but sometimes just have some temperament, but is still a very kind and nice child. Not the one you always see some from a young onset. They have a different kind of situation. If you are young onset dementia, I mean you're under 65. So if you're under 65, you're in the category because your physical being is still good, and somehow your behavior or paranoia from the Lewy body dementia, because dementia is a big umbrella, even under the even Alzheimer's disease also under that umbrella. So it can be physical being, especially throughout your diabetes, high blood pressure, heart disease. This chronic disease gonna be affect you to get into dementia diagnostic, and very, because sometimes dementia itself not necessarily can be in the lab spending along the tip. Depends on what kind of dementia is being diagnosed. So like Lewy body will be the shortest for the living between 78 or up to 12. So it really depends on each different individual's condition. So everything modern medication and somehow with the different kind of alternative treatment kind of give an extension or lifespan. Or some people try to move to another country and start over again. I think, is really up to every individual's journey, because dementia is just a burden topic. And then what I just doing the research on this TV drama Continuous is a real story from doctors, and everything in this TV drama is on real person. And later I just also found that extension program for that is one of the Japanese famous doctor himself. He's doing treatment for a lot of dementia patient. And later on when he's into very old age, he himself also being diagnostic of dementia as well. So I think dementia is just regarding the aging and all that. We had to know how that 55 world population is coming from, because we can use scientific to nail down this 10 specific dementia category, but somehow we had to find out is what is a prevention stage we can think of. So I kind of break it down. So I kind of pre-test about how I involve in this kind of disease in the first place. And especially I create this going all together community, because I'm in over the half my life now. So I'm kind of in a time to searching what am I being here and who I've been being part of the community, being part of my family, and kind of researching the meaning of all this. So it's kind of like dementia prevention is kind of bring me opportunity to network with different kind of group people, profession. Especially, I always learn medical research. So I have done that over like 10, 15 years ago with this special case I have followed through. And it's very similar directions, kind of like inspire me throughout the movie, and then give me a whole new idea of the medical research. And medical research does involving a lot of science and doctor, medical profession, caregiver policy and all that. But today my dementia research is focusing on is share that resource, share that information, share what is out there, and then what is true about what I've been finding and share with some other people. So you'll be able to find your own path. So we were talking about the prevention is one of the research I'm seeing from the 2010 UCLA has doing the prevention study to find out why are these people have a dementia. So they nailed down a couple of things. It's like if you have diabetes, you have heart disease, if you have high blood pressure, somehow your chronic illness can affect you throughout the dementia stage. So it's kind of like a pattern. And then I kind of also want to get more progress research throughout the world is young onset dementia. Even though it's a small population compared to the aging population, but young onset is somehow is like some people are very well educated, very intelligent, who are some doctor or some other is professor, teacher, or in a higher educated contribution there will be in society, but they somehow get and end up in the dementia for young onset. So somehow that took them early off to their career. They had an early retirement, and or they cannot do certain things because somehow they had to. If you're systematic to impair your brain, then somehow you couldn't function like normal people anymore. So I think another credit treatment and alternative, another country like Singapore, Taiwan, and some other UK and other like Denmark, they have been doing a lot of different way is that the dementia patient able to have them work, like a dementia cafe or something like that. Everything somehow is depending on the stage you are in and the dementia mind you are in. So that is still a possibility. So I just want to kind of bring up this research to let everybody know. Does that correlation, but does not mean certainty because it's like a genome, it's like your genetic. If you have for its kind of gene, you might be able to getting Lewy body dementia. So somehow that, even though we also say gene would not define ourselves, we can overturn it. And I think a lot of genetic research out there, the world right now, that we are doing a lot of research on the sedentarians, the people live older up to 100. We want to find out what food they eat, do they exercise, and some sort of thing. Of course, the prevention is about fitness, your nutrition, your exercise, your body and mind, and your soul. So I think somehow isolation is also the key point, like related to stress, and why people prefer to have a isolation, because some people just enjoy by themselves, but somehow that sociology say is not, because we are human, so we tend to be in a group, whether it's a big group, small group, or religious group or political group, whatever group you're in, it's just like-minded people are together. So somehow I just break it down, these couple of things together to talk about prevention. I understand that is not a very easy to do, and I kind of break down to do a couple of pilot program right now. Is teaching Chinese. Is like teaching another language. I've been learning English when I in my junior high, so I kind of start English. And of course, my mother language is Chinese and some Taiwanese. So I have several language and sometimes influential with some Asian language, like can say very, very basic about Japanese, Korean. So some kind of like my pastime environment was able to me to. But I think learning a new language is helping your brain to think differently. And one of the doctor in Malaysia, she had mentioned about try something new in your life every day. So I really encourage you to read a book, do something different every day to learn something new. So right now I have a DAO in person for Chinese. The learning was not an important part, it's about the social activity and also involve the timing here. So hopefully learning a new language can alter your mind, because right now everything is a pilot program, so I do not have a scientific behind me to try to bring image or cortex, or I can only just do is try to create this pilot program. And beside this in-person, I also have an online class with my high school student for my work program, kind of did learn the new language, and I also ask individual them to teach someone elderly at home, so they'd be able to influence, because I'm teaching them every week, so they would learn some new vocabulary, so they had to teach these elder people the new vocabulary as well. So somehow trigger some new information to their brain, hopefully that will slow down or even just let them escape this dementia illness. Because I know dementia is a very profound and could be impact a lot of people's life. So hopefully it is a pilot program or expansion and also expansion to teaching in Africa, because since it's an Africa country, so I still go through the application process with them, because there's a lot of complication when you're working with someone overseas rather than just someone close by you or someone you know. This is still progress, hopefully to get into the point. So beside the language program, I also want to enforce myself to learn. My husband can play piano, so we still play at home. Sometimes to be able to learn play piano. In this age, it's kind of challenging, but it's going to be a fun learning experience for me too. And I also want to learn more language. Like I used to learn some Japanese, but I want to try to learn more in depth about Japanese. At least I can do the regular dialogue. So and some other language is like kind of sport. So beside the language, you can also want to try to learn different musical instrument or singing. You know, you can find a group of people you enjoy to be with and start learning or start a singing opportunity and start singing church or say singing just in your community and everything, something people together, especially COVID is last during before. So within the last 3 years, we've been bubbled to in our own world, but right now we kind of be able to go back to normal for like 3 years ago. So people together and singing and of course, when you talk about singing, music, you talk about art. You like to draw, you like to paint. Somehow that will be part of the opportunity for you to do that as well. So I really think importantly for prevention, first start is, I always keep saying, body, mind, soul. You have to nurture them. Every single day you have to nurture them. So I keep doing this more research, so I'll be able to share with you more information I think would be helpful for you. I understand I will not be able to cure and how possibility to cure anybody out there, but we at least you have tried, because we had to be responsible for ourselves. So if you escape a day, if you escape because right now every dementia diagnosed for around the world is 3 seconds. So if you can escape a day, you off that 60, 24 hours, but you take yourself up to 10,000 opportunity off this chart. So each single day you challenging yourself to get to it. So I just want to share that information with you. And because I mentioned about this going to be a 2-part in Chinese and English, so I'm gonna say below in all Chinese. 谢谢大家收看我们的 YouTube 我们这个是以 education 为主，所以这主要是 documentary， 最主要是做一些节目让大家从中来学习到什么叫失智症。那因为我从看到你好我是谁之后，我开始那解救失智的过程呢，我觉得最重要的是预防。那我觉得预防应该要从个人、家庭、社会、国家做起。 因为现在55 million，其实我想是好几千万亿万的人在全世界都有失智症，所以我想台湾目前有30多个失智症，那台湾的政府也正走向全民防治的失智症的范围内，而且也做好很好的，在2022年已经做好很好的报告，有关失智症的报告，我想做的相当的好，尤其是有些乡镇也有很多的计划，然后每个计划都有他们很好的方式。我想最重要的是，这是一个不是个人的问题，也不是一个家庭的问题，也不是一个社会的问题，而是一个整个世界的问题。所以当然有能力的人，像科学家、医师或者是其他专业人士，他可以提供在研究的过程中提供给我们他们所得到的资料，然后呢造成给我们更多的资讯，所以后来我们可以用这些资讯然后来决定说什么样的方式对我们个人最好，家庭最好，社会最好，国家最好。所以我想每一个人都要对自己做一个方式。当然我们都知道预防重胜于治疗，那我们已经知道很多的治疗方式在台湾已经执行了，那同时在诊断方面，台湾的一条龙服务还有更多日照中心，或者是有点像老人俱乐部，那我想这些都是慢慢的延伸。那重点是在这些我们之前10个阶段提到如何照顾失智老人的英文节目里面，也是给大家一个照顾者的认知。我觉得照顾者真的很重要的是自己的身心灵，因为你真的不是超人，没有人是超人，所以你的健康照顾者的健康是相当的重要。所以我相信知道照顾者的身心灵，自己要照顾别人，也要照顾自己，这是我们在这个讲座过程中讲到非常重要的事情。因为就像芭比提到，你一定要先让自己吸收到空气，在空难的时候你才能想办法去救别人，而不是把你的氧气给别人，然后你都无法 survive， 你怎么去救别人？所以我想这个以防治为主的方式让大家做一个乞讨，然后也能够让大家有一些启发。所以我在前面有提到用英文的过程聊到说预防重于治疗，所以我现在在这预防的过程中，我成立了一个像语言的延伸，因为我本身在美国，所以我讲的是英文，几乎是24小时都讲英文，因为我儿子也不会讲中文，所以我几乎是24小时讲英文，所以我的母语中文，所以还是所以我就教一些老人、成人、小孩，也算是青少年，也希望就是有透过这个语言的活动，然后增加他们脑部的一些不同的认知跟想法，这也是一种机会。然后这也是我想跟大家分享的地方。因为我的中文渐渐的有点忘记了，所以如果没有常常练习的话，我的中文可能还记得，但是去把它组织在一起，没有英文来的流利。所以今天只是跟大家大致谈一下这个预防的方向。希望大家对这个节目有机会到的话，可以听听分享给其他人。那如果你有愿意到我节目来跟我分享你的照顾心得，或者是分享你 走过这个失智症的历程，把你的故事告诉我也是可以。所以希望你有机会的话能够来接受我们的这个节目。Thank you everyone for listening. I just want to share about this prevention for dementia, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everyone. Please continue to enjoy this YouTube program, because we're gonna focusing more like a research and what we learn. Even though it's about the research and scientific throughout the history, and then also it's up to you to make the best of yourself. So I wish everybody healthy and continue to grow all together, and with your community, the people you love, and things you enjoy, and life you like, and with someone you love. Good night, everyone.